Hi, welcome to the Christmas Time in the City podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Chris. Before we get started, be sure to follow us on social media. We're Christmas Time in the City podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and at Xmas City Pod on Twitter.
Also, feel free to email any questions or comments to us at christmastimeinthecitypodcast@gmail.com. In this episode, we're talking about our experience visiting Santa Claus at Macy's Santaland at Herald Square.
There are few places to see Santa in New York City that compare with Macy's Santaland. It's a magical experience for tourists and natives alike during the Christmas season.
Macy's Santaland Experience is an immersive 13,000 square foot display of all things Christmas and is an annual tradition at the Macy's flagship store. Doors open each year on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
The 8th floor of Macy's Herald Square location is transformed into a winter wonderland, overflowing with holiday cheer from its live elves, an enchanted forest, animatronic toys, and a train display. It's open daily through Christmas Eve.
So let's get into it. First, how to see Santa.
To see Santa, you have to make reservations. They don't just accept people walking in, but you can make reservations anywhere up to 30 minutes before your reservation. I suggest the earliest that you can get a reservation, which is 5 days out, and they start reservations at 6 a.m. We did our reservation at 7 a.m. for the Saturday, like 5 days after. And
because we're up at 7 a.m. now because we have
yeah, 7 a.m. is not a big deal.
Yeah, so we were up anyway.
So we made reservations during that time, and the earliest time slot on the 5th day was 3:30 p.m. So all of those spots within an hour were already taken before that. So definitely recommend waking up early and making reservations on the 5 day out, because that's as early as you can make them.
So our reservation was for between 3:30 and 3:50.
Yeah, 3:55, and so
3:55.
you can't stand in line anytime before 3:30 or after 3:55.
Mm-hmm.
The line wasn't too bad either. It was maybe 30 minutes before we got into the little cottage
The actual
area.
experience itself, yeah. They wrap you around what I'm pretty sure is just the employee like corridors.
Yeah.
And that part kind of goes around like the outer part, and then you actually go into what I guess it's like a train you guys go into.
I think it's supposed to be like Santa's Village or something. And then, the first couple things are like train cars that you walk through. Those parts are okay, but it's obviously just like you wait in line. And then you go outside of that and you're like, oh, this is what we've been waiting for. This is pretty awesome. There's a whole elf workshop and actual live elves working in there.
Real live elves.
Real ones, guys. Not people.
There were a lot of employees. There was
a ton of employees.
There's a large amount of elves.
Yeah.
There's probably just at least 8 of them just standing out in front of the actual Santaland.
Yeah. Which is good because it was easy to find someone to help you.
Yeah. And I'm sure for crowd control purposes, it can get kind of crazy there with all those parents there to get the perfect picture.
Yeah. And also they have the express passes that where if you get them, you skip the whole front area where you can go through the little village thing. You still have a time slot, but then you get to walk straight towards Santa instead of waiting in that line. But you have to make sure you tell the elves that when you get up to the front, because the
people in front of us.
Yeah, the people in front of us mentioned that they had it. And this is after like 30 minutes of waiting in line. And I think because they thought they were standing in line waiting for Santa, but they were waiting in line, waiting to go through the village thing first. And they weren't upset about anything, but we overheard them. We're like, oh, that's
probably
not
more
good.
expensive. So.
Yeah, they didn't really send them through the right route. So make sure if you have that, you tell the elf in the front, like, hey, I have an express pass. Where should I stand for that?
Walking through the line, I think it was awesome though, because it's really themed out really well. It's almost like if you were to go on like a roller coaster or like a ride at like Universal Studios, and like you miss like the queue part, and then you just get on the ride and have no idea why you're fighting.
It's good for if you've already done it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if we want to go back and take more pictures with Santa, we don't have to wait through the whole line again.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you're going for the first time, I can't imagine why you'd want to miss that. It was so neat. Or any new person going through it should definitely, if they're joining your party, you should do it again. Yeah, it was really neat. And there's a lot more to that room. There's you can follow us on Instagram. There was a few pictures that we have on there as well.
Yeah, there's a cool train set like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the train set was really neat. Our little one liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you walk up and you can either take a group shot in front of like this green screen thing. Not even a green screen. It was like just, I don't know what it was.
It's like a step and repeat sort of thing. You just kind of you stand next in front? I think it might have
It
been
was
like
like-
animated, like
it was
a large,
animated
yeah,
behind
large
him.
screen or something. But for the most part, it was just like a.
I think
like
it's
a
probably
winter scene
cool.
to take a picture of.
Yeah, if you have a big party, I think that's when it makes sense. Like they had those. There was like 18 people in front of us together. That was crazy.
It's like a huge group. Huge group.
Yeah. So that makes sense for them, so they can all get a picture together. But there's just the three of us and this big old screen. We don't need that. That's crazy. So we skipped them and got to go up to Santa. And then they send you in separate lines depending on how big your party is. Yeah. And then Santa was amazing.
It all happened so quickly.
Yes.
Like
so
the
quick.
whole time you're waiting for this moment. Like you're for like 45 minutes an hour. You're waiting for this moment to happen, and then like you're in like the right next to the room, and you turn the corner and you see Santa Claus, and it's all happening, and it's very quick, and it's like who knows what to do.
Yeah, they're like, okay, put him here. I'm gonna take a picture.
Like,
then you guys sit in, and then you can do this.
I have no idea like the protocol. Like, am I supposed to greet him? Do I like, bow?
Yeah, and he's pretty impressive too. This guy, like, this is like the Macy's 34th Street. Like, this is the Santa Claus.
These are. I don't want to offend any other Santas out there, but these are like. I'm pretty sure it's the real Santa. I mean, like he may get around, but this one certainly seemed like the real Santa.
Yeah. He mentioned to Chris that he remembered him, which was really awesome.
He remembered me. He hadn't seen me for a while.
He said you grew. You were taller.
I grew, yeah. And then I asked if I was on the nice list, and he said most of the time, which I think is pretty fair.
That's funny. Yeah, he was really cool. He was great with our little one. He didn't cry at all or anything. It was nice. And then what I do regret is not taking our own photos. I didn't think we were allowed to for some reason. I don't know why, but the elf in the front told us, she would take her pictures first, the photographer, and then we can use our phones and take pictures. But it all happened really quick, and they took the pictures, and then it kind of felt like, okay, we're done, and then we got rushed out a little bit. Not in a bad way, but like we felt like we had to move on, and we should have taken a moment to take our own pictures, because they only took 3 pictures, and then in the end we only ended up with 1. And we didn't even have to purchase those. They're so expensive, guys. Our picture's even like kind of crooked. We noticed later. Yeah, the photographer doesn't even have her camera.
The camera
right.
was like set at a weird angle in their little like their camera like tripod thing, and so it made the picture look a little.
Yeah, not bad. It's still a really good picture, but it was. You should definitely take your own.
Take your own pictures.
Have someone like there to do that, so you don't have to
take as much time as you want. Talk to the guy.
Yeah, ask him a couple questions. But all in all, it was awesome. It was it's a pretty magical experience there, and we hope to go back next year and make that kind of the Santa that we bring him to.
Each year, I'm hoping that we kind of learn from our previous years. Like I said, take more pictures, or we don't necessarily have to do like the long line next time, or maybe like 2 times from now. Like he's probably gonna want to.
If he's in a mood of some sort, and it's like we've got to get this done like sooner than later, then that's something that with people with kids that would make sense for.
Yeah. And then after we decided to wander around Macy's a little bit, and we had talked about it before, we did not have a gravy boat. So we were thinking maybe we should get a gravy boat from Macy's. We talked about it maybe a month or 2 ago, and kind of decided we were going to do it and maybe get like a Christmas themed gravy boat, and went over to the Christmas themed gravy boat section.
There is such a thing.
There is not, apparently, because there were no Christmas themed gravy boats left.
There were no gravy boats.
Can you believe it? What are people keeping their gravy in?
Apparently all the gravy boats.
I guess so.
They bought them all. We ended up ordering it online.
We ordered it from Macys.com, so it's basically the same thing.
We just didn't get to walk with it away with it that day.
It's unfortunate. I'd like to have gotten it there, but that's the way it goes. Sometimes like stores that actually, this is a great other story. We went to Toys R Us a while back, and we're going to get Jenga. We went inside. Yeah. And they didn't have Jenga. They had like this giant one that goes on like your back porch or something, but we didn't want that. We wanted like normal size Jenga, so we ended up leaving. And from the distance from the store to our car, I had ordered it on Amazon. Yeah,
and that's really sad. Like we wanted to go to the store and buy it,
and then a week later, they all shut down.
Yeah, it was our fault.
I feel no sorrow for them. Although I heard they just recently reopened a store, so maybe they're coming back. Like I think like
They're slowly coming
with
back.
Target, they're partnering or something.
Oh, that's cool. I miss Toys R Us. Yeah. That was weird. Jenga's so classic. Why would you not have that?
Yeah.
So yeah, we decided to kind of continue on with this episode of doing a listener mailbag kind of
Yeah,
thing.
we got some more questions we want to try to get through.
Yeah. So
Especially now that we're coming into the season, we want to make sure that we get back to you as quickly as possible. And a lot of these are really Christmas specific, which are fun too.
yeah.
But if you want to, feel free, like we mentioned, to hit us up on social media, or you can email us any questions you have, and we'll get back to you via the podcast or through whatever avenue you contact us. If it's of a personal matter, if it's of a real personal matter, maybe don't tell us.
we don't need to know.
If it's like something really serious, I probably don't want to know. I'm sorry. I'm not the guy. All right, so let's get through some questions. Colored lights or white lights on the Christmas tree? I'll let you take this. I feel like I've affected your decision.
Yeah, you have. I liked colored lights before. So we've compromised where we have white lights now, which I love, but we have colored garland. So it adds a little pop of like shiny color in the tree.
Papa Shiny Color.
Papa shiny color. That guy.
That would be my my club kid name. Papa Shiny Color.
Yeah, so I mean, I love both, obviously, because we have white lights on our tree, and I love it. And we got these lights that, from Bed Bath & Beyond a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we went back after the first roll we got and got another roll because we were so
wanted
impressed
more.
with them.
They're the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation lights.
Yeah, they're
so
like
there's
somehow
like
affiliated with the movie, and they're really, really good. They're like super bright. They have like different settings and stuff, and
but
they're LEDs as well.
The way they're like, there's like it's like a strand of them. I can't explain.
It's like a strand of like cluster. It's almost kind of like
clusters. Yeah.
Yeah, like for every like foot, there's probably 50, 60 lights.
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
it's a lot of lights in one strand.
Lights. Like if it was outside, it probably wouldn't look as crazy. But we have it on our Christmas tree, and it's a pretty bright Christmas tree.
Yeah, it looks great.
I love it. Absolutely. So white lights. I don't mind colored lights, but if I didn't like the purpley kind of, I don't know, like I like more like primary color lights. If that's gonna happen, then I want to make sure that they all kind of look the same, and I don't know. White lights just makes more sense to me. But
you're too particular.
I am too particular. Hey, what are you gonna do? Here's a question that we can talk about. We just did a podcast about this. Have you ever seen the Macy's parade in person?
No. I don't want to spend my whole
never want to do that.
morning
It was
and
18
afternoon.
degrees last Thanksgiving in 2018.
Oh yeah, that was
Can you
really
imagine?
cold. Sitting out there all day, knowing that our warm apartment is only like a train stop away. Not train stop, but a train ride away.
No, we didn't do that.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. I like having my morning in my pajamas, watching the parade from my house, eating breakfast, and preparing our dinner that we eat really early. Yeah. So no, and I don't plan to.
We haven't. We've gone and seen the balloons the night before at the American History Museum.
Yeah,
but
that we
like
like
doing.
We have
not gone to the actual parade itself because that would be a waste of a Thanksgiving morning. And also we'd probably miss the dog show.
Oh yeah, you gotta see the dog show.
Yeah, this is also an opportunity. This is also an opportunity to talk about the dog show real quick.
So we're not a sports family.
Oh, for sure, we're not sports.
You know, but this was kind of like our sport that day. Like our team won, you guys. We cheered while we were eating. We were so excited.
Yeah,
so
it's a thing that I've only ever experienced at medieval times.
Yeah, you
when
cheer
like the
when
Blue Knight wins, and you're like, yes, yes.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's what sports feels like.
Yeah, we have a bulldog, and a bulldog by the name of Thor won the 2019
Best in Show,
which is awesome. So congratulations to Thor.
Yay, Thor! You are super cute.
Please get in touch with us, and I will send you a Christmas time in the City podcast sticker
and some treats.
And some treats. Okay. Here's a good one. This is something that we talked about a while back. What's the deal with the gifts from the 12 Days of Christmas?
Oh gosh,
Which is a good question.
Movie. So if you,
it's a lot of birds. For the first like 4 days, it's just like
birds.
Basically birds, and then you get some jewelry, and then it's a lot of employees.
Yeah, a lot
just
of
like milkmaids and pipers, and it's way too much.
Yeah.
But it starts off with like an absurd amount of birds.
Yeah, and then what's that movie that we saw that it's just the song?
Yeah,
but then they go through it.
We found it on YouTube. My mom had gotten me like a VHS that she'd maybe gotten at like a dollar store or something, and it was like a 10-minute VHS of some foreign or maybe silent.
It was like a silent film, but it was a song.
Yeah, silent film, but like with the song from the 12 Days of Christmas, and it had. It kind of like showed the whole progression. Like every day, like he would bring more stuff to her.
Yeah, because if you listen to the song, it's not like on the 12th day of Christmas I brought them this. It's that and everything before it. So every day it was like I brought them this, and then the next thing, and then the next day it was like I brought you this, and the next thing. Yeah. And so
at some point, like he's got to be going to like these places and like, hey, I need a bunch more ladies dancing. I can't tell you why, yeah. But they're not going to come back.
It was crazy. The whole house was just filled with people doing things and birds everywhere, and it was just really funny. And I didn't think I was gonna get a kick out of it as much as I did, but it just makes you see how absurd the song kind of is. It's an interesting way
to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't be that person. Do like an Amazon gift card birds. Or something. Do something easier. That's the best way to show someone that you love them, by giving them an Amazon gift card. So
no, it's not. I'm not about that.
We approve.
No.
Next question. What do they do with the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree after the holidays? We talked about this in a previous episode, and I don't think we mentioned it. They donate it to Habitat for Humanity, and they mill it out and use it to build homes for less fortunate.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah, so it ends up being used after that. So
yeah, for good reasons, not just for like paper.
Mm-hmm. And this will be the last one we'll do for this episode. Do you decorate your Christmas tree from the bottom to the top or top to bottom?
Decorate meaning either like lights, or decorating meaning ornaments?
I can message them and see if they can clarify if you'd like.
Yes.
It may take a while. We may just have some dead air.
I need to know which one you're talking about, because they're different.
Well, there's a process. We can talk about the process really quickly for our Christmas tree. I'm sure people have their own way to do it. Mm-hmm. But we have a fresh Christmas tree. We set it on a end table.
Yeah, we do it on an end table.
It ends up being, so we can get a much shorter Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And
it's
also
like
we have a dog,
but it
and
looks like it's a 10-footer.
we have a smaller apartment. We don't want to be kicking into the Christmas tree. Space is limited slightly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fairly spacious for a New York apartment, but for the most part, wherever you can save room, you do. And so we have it on top of a end table. How did we do it this year? We just decorated it like over the last couple days.
I did the lights starting from the top and went down. Garland.
Lights first.
Same thing. And then the garland is second, and I do that from the top down as well. Although I did mess up and I had to do it over again.
Yeah.
I think because I started from the bottom for some reason. And went around and didn't have enough from the top. I was trying something different. And I realized that I had to restart it from the top and go down to the bottom. So learned my lesson. And then ornaments were just, we go nuts. We just put them all over the place where we want them.
A ton of ornaments.
And then we have some like ornaments that are similar to each other. Like I have my grandmother's, she had cardinals, red cardinals on her tree. And my mom recently gave them to me.
Your mom stole them.
No, they were given to my mom. And now my mom gave them to me. Yeah, and so we placed those all around the tree. I really like having the little cardinal birds throughout there.
We're going to talk about all the popcorn that I threaded up today.
Well, we could talk about that now.
I popped up a big batch of popcorn with my my whirly thing that we have. Mm-hmm. I popped it up and I threaded it probably about 10 feet of popcorn. And that's on the tree as well.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, I didn't salt the popcorn, which was my bad. Even though we weren't going to be eating it necessarily, there was a lot of popcorn around me, and you can't help but nibble on it, and it's all just like kind of.
Yeah, and there was also a lot left over. I was kind of bummed we couldn't eat it.
That's true.
I looked at it and went, I
can make more popcorn.
I guess so. But yeah, that's our tree. That's how we decorate it. We also have a silly tree topper. It's a elf hat.
Yeah, a big elf hat. So that's another question I suppose people may have if we do a star or an angel, and we opted for an elf hat. Our parents are probably thrilled. Oh, there's an elf hat. Okay. Okay. And that's it for this episode. If you like this podcast, please take a minute to rate it and write a review on Facebook or Apple Podcasts or both. Contact us and let us know you did, and we'll send you a sticker and a Christmas card to say thanks.
So subscribe now and follow us on social media so we can keep the conversation going and keep you posted about new episodes.
Until next time, I'm Chris.
And I'm Chris. And this is Christmas Time in the City.